Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the most important way for you to progress in MapleStory. This is one of my most important videos, so lock in. The information in this video is unironically the most important way to progress in MapleStory. Not one of, it is the most important way to MapleStory. And if you are not doing this or not working on it, your progression speed will be so much slower. With that all being said, I would greatly appreciate you guys to subscribe. I have many videos helping you guys out, and it would help me out so much if you subbed. Also, pull up to the live stream where you can see me progress in real time, talk to everybody, talk to me in real time, and of course, join the Discord. With that all being said, let's get right into it. So what I'm talking about is Meso drop gear. Let's start with what even is Meso drop gear and why is it important. The first thing you have to know is there are different types of gear on this game. So for example, the gear on the right side, these are your armors. The gear on the left side, these are your accessories, and in the bottom, this is your weapon, secondary, emblem. So all of your accessories, except for the belt, keep that in mind. When they have legendary potential, you can roll a potential line on them called item drop rate plus 20% and Mesos obtained plus 20%. These potential lines don't give you damage like how a strength line would give you damage. They increase your rates when you farm or when you kill a boss. They increase the chances of you getting a drop, or they increase the amount of mesos you get from killing monsters. And in MapleStory, you are 90% of the time spending your time farming, so you need to get your meso drop gear. It is incredibly important. It is like literally the most important thing for you to progress. This is the first thing that you spend a lot of mesos on. This is the first thing you do to get out of the early game. Without this, you will be early game forever. Like, you're just going to be hard stuck. Like, that's how serious it is. It's so important. So these potential lines can only show up at legendary. I am going to link down below a Meso drop gear funding guide that I made so that you know how to make the gear, but I'm going to tell you in this video why it's so important. So when you open up your stats tab, you can hover your Meso obtained at the bottom. You see how it says equipment item 100%, and then item drop rate. When you hover this one, it says equipment item 200%. This is the maximum amount that you can get on your equips. So you can get a bonus 100% Meso on your equips and a bonus 200% item drop rate on your equips. And since every single line is 20%, that means you can get 5 meso lines and 10 item drop lines. So whatever configuration you get, as long as when you are hovering your gear, you have a total of 10 item drop rates and 5 meso obtains, that's fine. So whether you get double drop like this or you get double meso, it doesn't really matter as long as in the end you have 5 lines of meso and 10 lines of drop. But I would recommend trying to not hold on to double mesos, because for every single double meso you will need 2 double drops to make up for it, and it's just more expensive that way. Whereas a potential like this is called a hybrid. Hybrid means it has meso and drop on the same potential, and these are much cheaper to roll than like a double line. So I would recommend going for hybrids first and then getting like a double drop. The next thing that goes along with your drop gear is your drop familiar. So familiars can also give you drop rate. You see how this familiar over here, it says item slash meso drop rate boost plus 60%. So that's another 60% on top of what I already have. So if I were to turn on my familiar, you're going to see now I'm at 290% drop rate. And the familiar on unique can go up to 110% drop rate. So I'm still missing another 50% drop on top of this, which would put me at like 340% drop rate. The familiar line that says meso drop rate boost, that doesn't really do anything. You don't get more mesos from that. It just makes the meso bag itself have a higher chance to drop. But meso bags from farming guaranteed drop when you are at least 67% drop rate. So if you are making drop gear, you're not going to need a familiar that says meso drop rate boost. Another thing that can also increase your drop rate is holy symbol. Maxing out holy symbol gives you another 24%. So this is very important to max out. So now I'm at 314%. Another thing on top of that is wealth acquisition potions, which give you another 20% meso and drop both. This is like having an extra equip on, an extra hybrid on, for example, and it would put me at 334% drop rate. So this drop rate is so important because a lot of damage that you get from this game is from mobbing. It's not just the mesos. The mesos obviously are important, and having mesos will make you stronger because you can upgrade your gear, right? But there is so much damage on this game that you are getting not from your gear. Like your Hexa Matrix, for example, you will get way more fragments. You'll get like 4 times the amount of fragments just from finishing your Meso drop gear. So you can upgrade your skills much further. You can finish your Hexa stat and you'll get a lot stronger from this. You'll also get way more familiar cards from having more drop rate, which means you have a higher chance of rolling boss damage fams, attack fams, or anything like that. You'll also get a lot of nodes, which are still a pretty underrated resource to have as you are funding your entire account. You'll get way more. As a matter of fact, what I've seen in probably like thousands of players that I've spoken to the entire time is people will all of a sudden understand progression much better once they get drop gear. Like progression in the early game before you have your Meso and drop gear set up is very slow. But once you have it set up, you are going to be progressing so much faster and it's going to feel really good. Like you get a sense of euphoria. You're like, holy shit, I'm getting so much stuff whenever I grind. Grinding isn't going to feel as miserable anymore because you're just going to get so many resources when you grind. There's a lot of other things that make drop gear really important as well. Like for example, these Oz rings, like a ring of restraint level 4, continuous ring, these ring boxes are affected by drop rate. Pitch boss, it's also affected by drop rate. So you want to increase your drop rate as high as possible so that you can get all of these things much more. Twilight marks affected by drop rate. Slime rings, all these items, superior Golix gear. If you're thinking like, why am I not getting any of this stuff? A lot of the reason is because you don't have drop gear set up. That's a big part of it. Obviously, it's still RNG, right? Like you can still get fucked. I'm not saying you're going to guaranteed get anything, but your rates increase so much when you have your drop gear versus if you don't. Here, I want to show you this character's drop gear as well. Like this character has a bunch of double lines. You see how I mentioned if you have a double Meso, you're going to need double drops. So because this character has double Meso, I had to get a bunch of double drops. Now I just happened to hit these, so it worked out in the end, but ultimately like it's the same thing. It's the same thing. At the end of the day, when I hover this, it says 100 Meso, 200 drops. So here in my Hado, you can see the same thing. I have 100 Meso and 200 drop. It says 109%. The reason for that is because when you're level 290, the symbol gives you Meso and drop rate as well. There's a reason why the symbol gives you Meso and drop rate. It's because it's really important to get those stats. In the Legion shop, there are these green coupons, the Legion Luck, that give you another 50% drop rate on top. So when you are opening your boss loot, you usually want to use these. But I would also recommend only using these if you have a lot of Legion, like you're over AK Legion and you can afford them as well. Because when you're low Legion, it's going to be hard to afford these for every single boss fight, but it does help. You see now I'm at 384%. And if I were to use a small wealth acquisition potion, it would put me at over 400%. And then a holy symbol on top of that is another 24%. So you can see the drop gear goes pretty high. It has a cap of 500%, and you can get to like the mid 400s. You could get to like 446 at the max, I believe right now, as of making this video, or like 447 or something like that, which is a huge difference. I'll even show you the mathematical difference. So if you look at this chart here, on the left over here is how much drop rate you have, just your total amount of drop rate across your gear with fams, with holy symbol, everything. So if you're starting at 20 drop and you go to 60 drop, you just got a 200% increase in the amount of drops you get. Basically, what I'm trying to show you is drop gear is even more impactful the earlier you are. The earlier you are into the drop gear funding process, the more impactful each additional step up in drop becomes. So for example, let's say you go from 60 drop to 100 drop, you are gaining another 66% total drops on top of everything. If you're going from 100 to 140, you're getting another 40% drops on top of everything. You can equate this to like final damage if that makes it easier for you to understand. The point is, every single line of drop gear becomes more and more impactful the earlier you are into it. So if you go from like the standard 5-line Meso, 4-line drop, which is like what you start with, and then you go from 5-line Meso to 8-line drop, you just doubled the amount of drops that you get pretty much. So you don't want to think of it from like, I went from 60 drop to 80 drop, meaning that I only get 20% more stuff. No, you actually get way more than that because it's a percentage increase from the previous number. It's not like an additive thing, if that makes sense. But you could see, let's say you're already at 300 drop and then you go to 340 drop, you're getting a total of 13.33% more drop rate, which is still a lot. Like that's still still 13% more resources. That's 13% more fams, for example. Like, that's a lot more. Or even at the high end, if you go from 380 drop to 420 drop, that's still over 10% more stuff that you're getting. So drop rate is something I also want to remind you guys is not something that you're going to finish overnight. This is a long process. Like, you are not going to just instantly get all of this overnight. You want to start one item at a time. You want to start with 5 lines of meso, just single lines, and then 4 lines of drop, single lines, and then slowly try to get your hybrids, try to get double lines one at a time. And then eventually you will ultimately reach the 200 drop on equips and 100% meso on your meso obtain. Your inner ability also matters. You can get meso and drop right here as well, which also adds to it. If you want to look at how much it costs, I'm going to have the cubing calculator down below. Say you want to get like a hybrid line. It's on like a level 140 equip or something. So you want to put 2 lines involving item drop or meso. You're going to see that the average is like 3.6, maybe 2.5. Realistically, what I always tell people is it's like around 4 bill to see a hybrid. That's usually like the expectation I set. And this is probably a lot of money early game. You're going to need at least probably 5 of these, and each one's like 4 bill. So it's like 20 bill or something. And then the double drop is going to be a lot more. The double drop lines that you're going to want to get, you know, median cost 10 bill, average cost 14.6. Like, it could be even upwards of like 20 bill to get your double drop line. So you're looking around 30 to 40, maybe even more to finish your entirety of your meso drop gear. Like, that's the expectation you should have. But those returns are going to give you more than anything else on your account within 30 to 40 bill. There's nothing else on your account that will give you more than spending the mesos on your meso drop gear. Like, if you want to look at my damage gear, look, I have meso drop gear. I'm level 282. I could solo black mage. I could solo hard Saren. I could do all this shit. I go to my damage gear setup. What do I have? I have a slime ring. I have a Meister ring. This is a free silver blossom ring. The Oz ring, which is also free. And then this is a free item, right? They have like nothing. These literally have nothing on them. And then a dominator pendant. And this has nothing. It has 0 stars, not even a potential. And like, I can clear everything. Like, you know what I mean? I can clear everything so far in the game, no problem. Or I could do it in a party. That's how important the drop gear is. Like, this is the first thing you spend your mesos on. You could, to be fair, spend a little bit of mesos on like your secondary and emblem to give you a little bit of damage. Like, that's fine. But you really want to put most of your money into your meso drop gear. All right, hopefully this video helped you guys understand meso drop gear a little bit more. It's so important. I just finished it on this character where I finally have the 200 drop with 100 meso. So I figured I should talk about it. It's literally the most important thing for you to do in your progression. There is nothing more important than doing this. It's more important than anything else. Getting your meso drop gear sorted out and farming. That is how you break past the early game, mid game, and that's how you get to end game. All right, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you watched the entire video, say the word Arteria, like the region that I'm in, because I'm hard stuck Arteria. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Shout out to my beautiful members: Blazefire, Shooms, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Koga, Skittles, CKJ, Vampiric X, Fresh and Juicy, Kelvin, Cloud Figs, Trashbot, Henzo, Dylan, Cloudy Quesos, Jason B, Sylvester L, J.A., Russell M, Mochi Teddy, Zero Sama, Shredbot, Michael R, and Suna TM. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys ever want to submit art, put it in the Discord fan art channel, and I'll see you for the next video.